Good morning, students. Last class we have considered the properties of the fluid. In that we have covered the viscosity. So we will revise again. Viscosity means the internal resistance to the deformation. So when we apply a shear force, there is when we apply a shear or tangential force, at that time there are shear stresses, means there is a resistance to the deformation under this action of shear stress. So, in simple words, viscosity means resistance to the flow, and this viscosity is due to the cohesion of molecules. So, oils, grease, food pulps, these are having the higher resistance to the flow, means having the higher viscosities, and water, air having the lower viscosities, means there is a less resistance to the flow. So, viscosity is important property which measures the resistance of the flow. So in how easily flow will be takes place, that depends on the viscosities. So in that dynamic viscosity means we have consider here, in case of this under the action of force. So here we have considered the force term. So this viscosity is the dynamic viscosity. So next we see the water having the less viscosity as compared to the honey or oil, as there is a strong cohesion between the honey or oil molecules as compared to the water. So they are having the higher resistance to the flow when a shear force is applied. So we consider next here we have 10 expression for the viscosity. Now we have consider here, this is a top plate, that is a moving plate, and one is the stationary or fixed plate. So top plate is moving with velocity u, and a force is applied to this. Because of the force, it is moving with a in a right direction. So y is the distance between these two plates. So we have consider here the fluids near to the moving plates. We can consider here fluid near to the moving plate will having the same velocity as the plate, because the fluid particles where we have considered here attached to the moving plates, or we also it called as a no slip condition. So the fluid particles near to the moving plate will be moved with the same velocity of a plate, and particles near to the stationary or fixed plates having the zero velocities. So this is called a no slip condition. So particles near to the moving plates having the same velocity as the plate, and liquid particles near to the fixed plates are stationary. So we have considered here uh, two plates. Between that, on the upper plate, force F is applied. So distance between that is y. So this force we can consider. This is the force applied over the moving plate that causes the motion. Shear force is applied over this fluid. So fluid starts moving, but because of the viscosity of the fluid, there are shear stress is developed, and this shear stress causes resistance to the flow. So we can derive its expression. So here force, the shear force is directly proportional to the area of contact of plate with the fluid. Then next, force is proportional to the velocity. Higher the force, higher will be the velocities, or high velocity will be causes higher force, and this force is inversely proportional to the y, that is the distance between the two plates. As the distance goes on increasing between these two plates, force will be decreased. So force is inversely proportional to y. So we get relation as a force inversely proportional to y. So we take a on the left side, so we get F upon a is equal to u upon y. So from similar triangles, Here we can consider in diagram, these are the two triangles. So here it is the u, this distance is y, and if you consider a smaller fluid element, that is the having change du, and its distance smaller distance y. So we consider a very small distance between the two plates, negligible very smaller distance between the two plates. So at that time we can consider the variation of velocity. So here v is velocity is at the stationary plate, we have considered 0, and velocity along the moving plate will be goes on increasing. So here in this diagram shows as the change in the velocity at the stationary plate is 0, and at this velocity is equal to the velocity of the moving plate. So this is the velocity change is shown. So we can consider here bisimilar triangles u upon y is equal to du upon dy. So we can write force, therefore F upon A is equal to du upon dy. So F upon A is the shear stress and denoted by this tau. So tau is proportional to du by dy. So constant of proportionality is taken as a mu. So we get relation tau is equal to mu du by dy. So this equation tau is equal to mu du by dy is called as the Newton's law of viscosity. So that means it shows that there is a linear relation between the shear stress and the du by dy is called as the deformation du by dy. So next we can obtain the units of the viscosity. So here constant of proportionality is the mu, that is called as dynamic viscosity. So mu is equal to tau shear stress upon du by dy. So shear stress is nothing but force per unit area, and du is the velocity, change in velocity, dy is the length. So if you put the dimensions, force is in the f, the area means its dimension are L square, velocity is meter per second, that is Lt minus 1 upon length is in L. So length get cancelled, we get expression as a F L square L raised to minus 2 T. So we get the force viscosity unit as a, in a terms of force as a F L raised to minus 2 T. So if you put the dimension of the force, so dimension here force is nothing but the, we know force is equal to kg into mass into acceleration. So kg meter per second square. So kg unit is m, mass unit is L, and second as a t raised to minus 2. So this is the dimensions form. Kg dimension is, or mass kg is in m. For length we use the meter, we use the dimension as a L, and for time we are using T. So we get the dimensions form as a m, for force is m L T raised to minus 2, and for viscosity we have considered, for viscosity here mu is equal to, we have considered f L raised to minus 2 T. So we have put f is equal to this m L T raised to m, for f we have put m L T raised to minus 2. So we get viscosity as a mu is equal to dimensions as m L raised to minus T1. So mass we can get the formula as a m as a kg L raised to minus 1 means in divide meter and time second. So kgs unit of this dynamic viscosity is kg meter per second. So we get 1 unit of the viscosity in kgs system as a kg meter per second. So next we have to consider new SI unit of dynamic viscosity. So force is in Newton. Force is in Newton. Then we have consider uh, L raised to minus 1 means Newton per meter square, and for time we get second. So we get the expression as here, F is in Newton per meter square and time is in second. So unit of viscosity will be the mu is Newton second per meter square. So this is the SI unit. SI unit of viscosity is Newton second per meter square. And we can obtain the in CGS unit, the unit of viscosity is in 9 second per meter square. So we know 1 Newton per meter square will be equal to 10 raised to 5 9 per centimeter square. So we can convert Newton per meter square into 9 per centimeter square. So putting as a Newton, 1 Newton is equal to 10 raised to 5 9 and meter square as a 10 raised to 4 centimeter square. So Newton per meter square we get, this will 10 raised to 5 will be cancelled, we get 10 raised to 10. So 1 Newton meter square is equal to, we get 10 9 per centimeter square. So that is the small unit of viscosity is 19 second per centimeter is also called as poise. So 1 Newton second per meter square we get 10 9 per 9 second per centimeter square, that is 10 poise. And smaller unit of the poise is again centipoise. So if you take 1 upon 100 of poise is called as a centipoise. So here we have considered three units of viscosity. Kg meter per second is the kgs unit, Newton second per meter square is the SI unit, and dyne second per centimeter square is the CGS unit. So next we consider point as a variation of viscosity with temperatures. So we have considered viscosity is due to the cohesion of molecules. The molecules of liquid are having attraction towards each other, and for gases the viscosity is due to the molecular momentum exchange. One molecule when strikes another molecule of gas, there is a resistance to the flow, that is the viscosity. So we consider first variation of viscosity for liquids. So this graph shows that as the temperature goes on increasing, viscosity decreases. So if you consider viscosity, suppose dynamic viscosity goes on decreasing when temperature is increased. This is because on the heating of liquids there is a distance between the molecules. The molecule bonds will be break, and the distance between the molecules will be increased, and because of that cohesive force will be decreased. That means viscosity will be decreased with when there is an increase in the temperatures. So we know the simple examples. Oil, after oil is very viscous means there is a very high resistance to the flow. Oil will not easily flow, but if you heat the oil flow rate will be increased, means there is a less resistance to the flow. So as the temperature goes on increasing, viscosity of liquid decreases. So this is for most of the liquids. the liquid becomes less viscous after heating. So inward viscosity of the liquids decreases with the temperature. So next, for gases, we consider viscosity is due to the molecular momentum exchange. So when temperatures are increased, gases are moving with a higher kinetic energy. Gases having the higher kinetic energy, and they will, one molecule of the gas will collide with the another molecule. There means there may be a stationary and fast moving molecule that will be collide, and there is a momentum exchange. So that means there is a more exchange of the uh, momentum. Because of that, there is a greater resistance to the flow. So for viscosity of the gases, we have considered increases with the temperature. Molecular viscosity of a gases, viscosity of the gases will increase with the temperature. For liquid, viscosity will be decreased, and for gases, we can consider viscosity will be increased when temperature is increased. That is the direct relation of viscosity with the temperature. So this is a two important point as a variation of viscosity with temperature. Next, we have to consider types of fluid. In last class, we have considered ideal fluid. Ideal fluid, that is having the no resistance to the flow. It will be flow continuously. There is a no resistance to the flow. Means viscosity is zero for the ideal fluid. But in actual practice, we have considered the fluid having the viscosities. When force is applied, there is a resistance to the flow. That is shear stress is developed for the real fluids. So ideal fluids or real fluids are classified in the different categories. So first category we consider as a Newtonian fluid. So in that case, when the in Newtonian fluid within the elastic, we can consider Newtonian fluid, shear stress is directly proportional to the strain. Shear stress is directly proportional to strain rate. That is the deformation. So tau is directly proportional to du by dy. So we get constant of proportionality. Tau is equal to mu du by dy. So Newtonian fluid having the relation as a tau is equal to mu du by dy. So there is a linear relationship between the shear stress and the deformation. So we can plot here on the, this is a rheological diagram. In that case, shear stress on the y-axis, and deformation, that is the du by dy, strain rate also called du by dy, on the x-axis. So for Newtonian fluid, there is a linear relationship between the shear stress and the deformation. So that means viscosity we get as a, the slope of this line is the viscosity tau upon mu. Mu is equal to tau upon du by dy. So mostly the water, air, kerosenes having the linear relationship with the shear stress with the deformation. So for water and air, we consider as a Newtonian fluids. So Newtonian, this is also called tau is equal to mu du by dy. So there may be non-Newtonian fluid. So in that case, the variation is not linear, and there is a tau is equal to, we get mu du by dy raised to n. So there is a relation as a, there is a index n is included. So there is a non-linear relationship between the shear stress and the deformation. So n value is different. So n can be greater than 1. So if n is equal to 0, we get the Newtonian fluid. And there may be two possibilities as a n greater than 1. So fluids are called dilatants. Means butter, example butter quick stand, that we know that are not easily flow. But If in case of in this diagram shown as a dilatants or butter, n is greater than 1. So means force, when force, shear force is applied, when force is applied, that is tangential force is applied, shear stress in case of butters will be the will be increase. That means n is greater than 1 in that case. So this fluid is also called as shear thickening fluid. So when apply force, tangential force, shear stress goes on increasing. So we get polytropic in we get n as a greater than 1. So butter quicksand as a mixture of water and sand. In that case, the n is greater than 1. So more shear stress from this diagram you can see here. For dilatant fluids, we get more shear stress for applied force. So shear stress is more in case of butter and quicksand. Next example of the, if n is less than 1 means uh, we get less shear stress for the applied force. So less n is less shear stress for the given strain rate. So these are the shear thinning fluids. These are also called pseudoplastic or shear thinning fluids. So examples are milk, paper pulp. So it means if n is less than 1, the shear stress are decrease. Shear stress is less as compared to the strain rate. So du by dy. So we get the relation as a, for the pseudoplastic n less than 1. So mud slurries, milk, paper pulp. In that case, shear stress, you can see here the slope is as like this. For increase in the du by dy, there is a shear stress is less than the Newtonian fluid. So next type of fluid is called as a ideal plastic or Bingham plastic fluid. So we can consider plastic means there will be not easily flow. So in that case, plastic fluid is shown here. So they are having certain yield stress. So before they are flowing, they are having certain yield stress. After that, they are flowing. So ideal plastics examples are here a fluid having definite yield stress and thereafter constant relationship between the shear stress and the deformation. So before means in that case there is a certain force is required that to overcome the yield stress, and thereafter there is a linear shift between the, that is we get tau is equal to mu du by dy. But here before that a force is applied. So in this case for ideal plastic a constant plus mu du by dy. So in case of plastic or Bingham plastic fluid, there is a definite yield stress. Before after that the fluids can be flow. So in that case we get relation tau is equal to constant plus mu du by dy. So on diagram it is shown as a definite yield stress is required for these fluids. After that it can be flows, and this yield stress, after that yield stress, that may be linear relationship between the shear stress and deformation du by dy. So these are the examples are the drilling muds that use in the drilling of drills in the earth. In that case, the mixture of the drilling mud is used. Toothpaste we can consider as a ideal plastic fluid, and then sewage sludge are examples. That means there may be solids mixture with in liquids, are they will not flow easily, but after sufficient shear force is applied they will start flow. You can see in the case of toothpaste it will not flow easily. We have to apply, as compared to other fluids, we have to apply a sufficient force, that is the yield stress is required. After that the toothpaste will be flow. So these are the ideal plastic fluids. Next category as a thixotrophic fluid. So same as the fluid having the definite yield stress, the fluid having the definite yield stress and thereafter non-linear ship between the shear stress. So non-relationship म्हणजे here we get raised to n. So in that case we can example see as a printers, ink, lipstick, certain paints and enamels. So that means to the you have to apply a certain force, that means shear stress, uh, force will have to apply. After that they can have the flow. In that case we can see as a in the diagram thixotrophic fluid, so that is having the definite yield stress. After that they can be flow. So when apply shear force greater than the yield stress, there is a relationship, uh, non-linear relationship between the viscosity, uh, non-linear relationship between the shear stress and deformation du by dy. So here we get the as a tau is equal to constant plus mu du by dy raised to n. And for ideal plastic we get tau is equal to constant plus mu du by dy. Here in case of thixotrophic fluid, index n is used. So these are the different types of fluid we have considered. The ideal fluid will be on the, suppose we have considered ideal fluid. So ideal fluid we are assuming the no viscosity, means for that tau shear stress will be 0. So ideal fluid will be on the x axis, that is there is no shear stress, there is no resistance to the flow, means viscosity is 0. So that will be represent on the x axis. And ideal solid will be represent on the y axis. So solid we can consider, if you apply a force there will be no deformation in the fluid, that is for du by dy will be 0. So that means ideal solid is present on the y axis and ideal liquid, ideal fluid is will be on the x axis. You can consider the ideal liquid means there is a no resistance or shear stress is 0 for applied force. So that means viscosity is 0 on the x axis is the ideal fluid. And for solids there is a definite, there is a resistance to the deformation or higher resistance to the deformation. So we can consider the deformation is negligible. So in that case ideal solid will be on the y axis. So these are the types of fluid. Ideal fluid is represented on the x axis. Then Newtonian fluid, Newtonian fluid means having the relation as a tau is equal to mu du by dy. So there is a linear relation between the shear stress and the deformation. Next we have considered non-Newtonian fluid means there is a tau is equal to mu du by dy raised to n. So n may be less than 1, and less than 1 is called as a pseudoplastic. So that is shear thinning fluids as a milk, paper pulp, mud, slurries are pseudoplastic. Or if n is greater than 1, they are called as a dilatants. So butter as an example. And next type of fluid are ideal plastic, and ideal plastic having the a certain constant yield stress. We can consider ideal ideal plastic having the certain yield stress. So after that there will be up to yield stress there is a no deformation, and after shear force is applied more than this yield stress there is a deformation. that that deformation is linear. That is called as a ideal plastic. So we have see examples as a drilling mud, toothpaste, sewage sludge are examples of the ideal plastic fluid. And last one as a thixotrophic fluid. So that means having the we have to apply a shear force greater than the yield stress. After that there may be non-linear relationship between the. So after application of sufficient force greater than yield stress there is a deformation, and after that the deformation is non-linear with the shear stress. Examples are printer inks that will not sufficient shear force we have to apply, then there will be deformation. Lipstick we have to apply certain force, then will be deformation as compared to the water's airs. So these are the types of fluid. So each fluid having the viscosity we have considered resistance to the flow. So we are using the pumps in our mechanical system. Pumps are used to flow the fluids at a different heights or at a different distance. So at that time pump power is important thing, that pumps have to flow these fluids to the different heights or different distance. At that time we have to consider the viscosity of the fluid. Also in some fluids that should be easily flow when they are sprayed, so at that time viscosity is also important thing. So these are the types of fluid we have considered as a Newtonian and non-Newtonian fluid. So next class we consider another important points in these fluid properties. Thank you.